Well, good evening, guys. Hope we're all well this evening. Here in the UK, I should say, or wherever you are in the world, then I hope you're having a safe day. My name's Neil Cook. I'm a spirit medium, and as for the majority who watch this live stream every week, you know I'm part of the GSI Paranormal family as the resident medium, as well as working for myself. Good evening, David. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're watching. Yeah, it's an evening of chat with regards to paranormal and anything spiritual. Whatever the topic is, then I'll do my utmost best to answer it. Let me know if you're watching for the first time and where you're watching from, and I'll do my utmost best to catch your comments there and give you a big shout out. Let's have a look. David Anderson, Linda Brooks, Brenda and Kai Hendricks joined. Josephine Northover and Cookie has joined as well. Colette, good evening. I'm just going to share this stream so other people can get to see this. If you want to do that, your good selves and the people you share with, then that way it'll hit the right audience. So I'm just quickly going to share it across my pages so my followers can get to see it. And like I say, feel free to like and share yourselves so it'll hit the right audience. Let's see, share on my timeline. I probably shared it twice now anyway. That looks about right. Right, I'm just going to swap this screen over so I can see your comments a little bit bigger. Right, any new watchers tonight? Any person who hasn't watched this live stream before? I know all these good people I've seen before. Tonight is a topic about spiritual and paranormal. You create the questions. I'll do my utmost best to answer it, as well as chat about other things as well. And you'll probably find that all these good people in the chat, people who are all like-minded, all to do with spiritual and paranormal stuff. Let me just unplug my headphones because I'm getting a bit of feedback here, so I don't want to be interrupted with my own voice, because there's nothing worse than listening to your own voices. Let's have a look. Fiona, hope you're well. Jeanette, hope you're well. Linda Brooks, good evening. And Emma, good evening. Jackie Dixon, good evening. Shirley Gray, looking forward to meeting you guys soon when we come down to, or should I say, when we all meet up for the wedding arrangements. Let me just move that way and I can see the comments better, much better. Hi from Florida. Thank you for joining us. Cookie, where are you watching from, Cookie? Let me know. Two cookies in the chat, Neil Cook and Cookie DeCourt, if I pronounce it right. And Connie Tucker, hope you're well. Kai, where are you watching from, please? If I pronounce your first name right. You're new, Kai Hendricks. Let me know where you're watching from. I'll give you a big shout out. Also, guys, if you're anything to do with the paranormal world, if you're anything to do with spiritual stuff, or if you just have any kind of business here on Facebook and you want us to give you a big like and follow, then please post your link in the comments at the bottom there, and these good people will follow what you do. Pete Armstrong, good evening. What's been happening this week? For those who know me well from Facebook, my good self's been quite poorly and in hospital for 5 days. I had a severe tummy bug, which caused problems not only with my tummy, but something which I suffer from, which is called diverticulitis. Diverticulitis is a form of irritable bowel syndrome, but it's a more severe form of it. Slightly different, but same kind of concept. And the viral infection I had triggered off my diverticulitis, and I became extremely dehydrated due to tummy problems and had to spend 5 days with the NHS, which was, let's just say, an experience within itself. But I'm back on the mend. I've been out of hospital 4 or 5 days now. I've been resting up, plenty of liquids so I don't dehydrate, and I'm back at the doctor's tomorrow to hopefully get some relief from my tummy cramps, which I'm still getting. It's good to see you back. Thank you, Linda, and it's good to see you on here as well. Alison, thank you for joining us. Hi from sunny Skelton. I wonder where that is. Is that in the UK, Fiona? I'm just toying with you. I know where you are. Let's have a look. Martin Smith, thank you for joining us, a good friend of ours. And no, Martin, it wasn't a vodka jelly which was stuck in my wrist when I was in hospital. Yeah, we talk everything paranormal, everything spiritual. I don't look to connect to spirit tonight, but if anything comes through, then I will pass that on. But it's a lot harder speaking with you guys on here and all your chat flying off the page and then trying to make a personal connection. There's a lot of people I know on here already, which it'd be hard to read for anyway, because I know a lot about them already. Maria Redford, glad you're feeling better. Thank you very much. I appreciate that kind comments. And a big thank you for all your love and healing, which was sent as well. I received an astronomical amount of get well wishes through Facebook, as well as a fan base who send me cards from time to time. All the healing was received. Thank you. I could feel it coming from each and every one of you. And I do believe this helped me with my recovery. And I'm a great believer of the power of prayer. And once you put something out there into the universe, it always goes to the right place. So yeah, it was great. I hope you're feeling better, Neil. My granddad had a nasty, it's nasty, similar to IBS. Yes, you can sympathise with me. Thank you. Could you tell us more about your premonitive dreams and visits from spirits, past loved ones in your dreams, please? Yes, Heather. Let me just tell you a little story. Today, myself and Vicky were at a funeral today. This funeral was a relation of ours, and we give her a nickname of Auntie Eleanor. She was a grand old age of 89, and unfortunately she passed away this time last week, and a funeral was today. Now, talking about premonitions and things coming into people's dreams, just before Auntie Eleanor passed away, some of you might have seen my statement on here when I told you I'd woke up with a very spiritual dream. I was awakened by an energy of I would say, a middle-aged lady. She first came into my dream and woke me up. And as I woke and came into the room as of such, I saw this apparition of a lady who I wasn't familiar with. I would have put her in like a 1940s kind of ether, and she was dressed in that kind of time scale, in that timeline, and all she did to me was smile, and then her energy just like disappeared out of the room, out of the ether. When my partner came home from work, I spoke to my partner Vicky and told her of my experience on the morning, and also Vicky's mum was here as well, and I spoke of this lady, and the person I described was a younger version of Auntie Eleanor. Now, I do believe she came here to astral travel to get a message across, because it was also on this same day that she passed to spirit. She took a transition into the spirit world, and I genuinely believe she was coming here just to give us that final nod and a wink to say, right, I'm all good, and off I go. I was asked to describe this lady, and I made a connection not only with the lady but a timeline, and she showed me many things as I was connecting with spirit. And she showed me that she was riding this very old style blue bike with a big basket on the front with a wire cage, even right away down to the dress she was wearing when she was riding this bike. And her mum then went off and came back and confirmed with a picture, not only of the lady who came to me at my side of my bed, but with the bicycle as well. So I then knew that Auntie Eleanor had showed herself at a younger age, which she chose to do so because when spirits are getting old and frail, they don't always like to show themselves to the loved ones in the aging years when they were taking the transition to spirit. They like to show themselves in an earlier memory, so we have a fonder memory of this, and it can be somewhat less alarming when you see someone who is in good health in spirit rather than the final days, if that makes sense. But yes, we all have these dreams, we all have these premonitions, we're all influencing our dream state from spirit, and I genuinely believe that in our hypnotic state of sleep, this is when spirit will come to us, because it's easier for them to submissively put that message into our wooden skull and get that message across, rather than appear next to us and scare the living jahibas out of us and then try and pass that message. So yeah, yep, she is in a better place, Martin. It'd be nice to have her for some more years to come, but she'd lived a good life. She was 89 years of age, if I'm right in saying so. I might have made her a little bit younger there. But when you've been on this earth plane for as long as that, and you've done everything, and you had your independence, and you were the last one to go with respect, i.e. the last sibling of the family, everyone's grown up around you, and I do know that when my mum and dad passed, I was of an age which I was quite capable to look after myself. My mum and dad passed in 2011, and I was I think 41 years of age, and I'd grown up into a man, so it was like, and we always have this fear of losing our mums and dads and immediate loved ones at a younger age, and it's that insecurity and how will I cope, which is the biggest fear. And when you get to a good age like ourselves, what we are now, it just helps a little bit. Fortunate with Auntie Eleanor, it was a long time coming with respect, which means that she was slowly, how can I put it? Her body was slowly shutting down, and being the stubborn, beautiful lady she was, she took her time at dying, and it wasn't a sudden death, so it wasn't traumatic as much like a sudden loss of this person out of our lives. It was something we knew which was coming, and we just wanted the best for her in her aging final days. And Spirit answered our prayers. We asked for the highest side of life to assist with this and protect her in her transition, and I can most definitely say that Spirit answered my prayers as well. Let me just jump on some of these comments, guys. Excuse my white face, it's the light on the laptop. Mac Harper, a dear friend of mine, good evening, hope you're well. Let's see who else. Dallas, hope you're well. Adam Lloyd, thank you for joining us. Don't forget, guys, any questions you want to ask with regards to spirit, death, and anything else linked to that, anything to do with the paranormal, if you've got something good to share with us, please pop it in the link so we can have a good look and read. And just remember, guys, everyone who's on this page are here because they're like-minded, so they'll most certainly like what you've got to share as well. Helen Steele, good evening. Looking forward to seeing you soon, as and when you come up for our wedding. Karen Fielding, good to see you on here again. Yes, I am feeling better, if you've heard. Who else is here? Jordan Brooks, hi, hope you're well. I know your mum's here, Linda, as well. Thank you for joining us. Julie Skinner, thank you for joining us. Sarah Edwards, and who else have we got? I think I've caught you all there. Thomas Hood, thank you for joining us. Like I said, guys, if you're new to the channel, share what you're about as well on this link, please do. Talking about sharing and forthcoming events, ourselves, GSI Paranormal, Vicky, Jan, our new video guy, Jamie, and my good self are off up to the Air Museum in the northeast area of England. It's at Sunderland. It's a historic place which was once a World War I and World War II runway for Sunderland. It was where the Battle of Britain actually took off from, the airfield. And on this exact location now is the museum, not only housing all the aeroplanes and the warplanes from yesteryear, but it's got a lot of military things there, a lot of energy attached to these big, huge vessels, the aeroplanes, the jeeps, the tanks, and the war memorabilia. And we've been many a time now with regards to hosting an event there. And we did once capture a really good image, which is on the GSI page with regards to the event coming up, and you get to see the actual spirit energy of the pilot sat in the plane. If you haven't seen that already, then take a look. The 21st of April, there's an event on the wall, and you'll see the image of the pilot with his little wings on his helmet, sat in the helicopter, waiting for his next call. So yeah, it's an event forthcoming on the 21st of next month. There's still places left. It is limited, first come first serve. So if it's in your neighbourhood, if it's not too far to travel, then please feel free to ask any questions, and we'll do our utmost best to answer them with regards to the event. We do provide food, hot drinks, and extremely good entertainment. You also have the benefit of working with a medium, myself, and a great team, GSI Paranormal. We've just hit 12,500 likes, guys, so a big thank yous to our followers and our new people out there following us. We must be doing something good. We must be putting the right information out there. We're genuine at what we do. We just tell it as it is. And most of the things we find anyway in the paranormal field, we like to put it out there and ask the question rather than insist. And I think that's how it should be, because what might seem like one thing with one person's eyes, it'll be totally different in another. So it's good to ask the question, have we caught something paranormal? Are we, guys? Let's have these questions, please. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with cotton mouth if you don't fire away. Let me just stream back up the comments. It's good that you're talking among yourselves. If you want to share this, please do. It'll hit a massive audience, and your good friends will get to see something, and they may actually find comfort in what this live stream is about, and they may want to ask that question which they haven't had that opportunity to do. And don't forget, guys, you can also personally message me if you don't want to ask the question in front of an audience. If it's something a little bit more personal, then I'll do my best to answer that as well. You've been getting a lot of double numbers coming up. Any ideas what they are? Can you find if they're significant? Yes, Marie. They're called magic numbers. We tend to look at the digital quartz clock at the side of the bed, and it says 2222 or 888, or, well, you can't say 888 because we don't have 88 minutes past 8, but you know what I'm saying, 44 minutes past 4, things like that. It's your best thing to do. There is a chart on Google, and it's called magic numbers or angel numbers, and if you type into Google angel numbers, it does have some variations and some symbolic meanings with regard to that. There's a few like things which people say are one thing and some people say the other. I genuinely believe that always catch our eye for a reason. I know a good friend of mine, Shane Corbett, was getting these magic numbers, or the angel numbers as of such, and he done his research, and what was going on with his good self in his life, they kind of fitted with what was happening. Everything he was seeing and the numbers symbolically what they were saying kind of fitted in with his life, and he took this as a sign from spirit, and he was quite, how can I put it, he took comfort for this because he had a fear of what was going on in his life and making sure he was taking the righteous path. And fortunately, these numbers were pointing him in the right direction. So he was quite pleased at his findings. But yeah, they're on Google, angel numbers, magic numbers. There is a lot of symbolic meanings to them. Some may find them more fitting than others, but it is a worth reading. Craig Whitney, thank you for joining us. You always see a 1111. I do myself. It's quite one of them significant things. Sarah Edwards, hi Neil, good to see you back on your mend. Quick bit of advice. Excuse me a second. My little 3-year-old grandson has been seeing spirit of a lady for a year now. This week she has started talking to him and told him she was a dead, jumped dead among other things. I'm going to see if I can make contact with her this weekend. What you have to remember, Sarah, is we're more likely to interact with our loved ones in spirit rather than something which belongs to the land, or what we would say residual energy, Sarah. Children are the most marvelous tools on this earth plane, and forgive the definition of tools, to use as a device with spirit. And what I mean by that is your good self, myself, and everyone else probably on here. Our head is full of clutter from today's work, everything we've been doing, the next bills we have to pay, the car payments, the mortgage, the homework for the children, and everything else, and all that is going on in our very busy mind. But when you think of a 3-year-old child, there's nothing going on there. That the only worry is he going to catch the next episode of Peppa Pig or the Teletubbies? And other than his next meal, he's quite easily stimulated, he or she. So the more psychic than what we'll ever be, with respect. And when spirit comes to make contact with a family, the loved ones, those are the easiest people to make that contact with. It's like my good self. If I walk down the street and spirit are looking to make contact with someone I'm near, I'm the only communicational device in the area, like a telephone. So I do find spirit will come to me to make that contact and try and persuade me to make contact with this unknown person, which I wouldn't do anyway. But with a child, it's easier for a nana, a mum, a father, or someone in spirit, a great aunt, to get that link straight across, because their mind is wide open. There's nothing blocking all that clutter. There's no clutter there, so it's quite easy for them to make that contact. Let's have a look. I went on to visit my daughter and my granddaughter today in their flat. Eve, my granddaughter, seems to be playing with someone, but there was no one there. She went into the corner a few times and she was chatting away. I do apologise if I skip a line because the comments are jumping down the page. She continued to play with someone we couldn't see. She does possible spirit. Yes, I won't say spirits following her home, Josephine, because spirits doesn't tend to follow people home. They'll follow people about because they're connected to them. I know, Josephine, you have a lot in spirit. Your siblings are in spirit. We've spoke personally about everyone who's in and around you. I gave a read now to a friend of mine yesterday. She walked past me and I was given this hint of perfume, and I mentioned the perfume that she was wearing, and this person turned around to me and said, "I'm not wearing any perfume." And I said, "Well, this perfume belongs to the spirit energy who's following you then." And I named the perfume, and the young lady said to me, "Oh, I know who you're talking about." And the spirit went on to tell me that she was a godparent to this child. There was an anniversary coming up next month, which I found out to be the anniversary of this person's death. And she went on to show me characteristics of this person as evidence to pass this on to the person I was speaking to. Now, this was a godparent to this child, and this person passed over to spirit, but they still feel they have that duty, duty of care as a godparent, which was stored upon them as in the living to protect that person. Now, when our loved ones go to spirit, they still have that duty, or they feel they still have that duty. No, they don't have that duty technically, but they want to do that because they're our loved ones in spirit. So we will find the most active area of our homes is on the landing area outside the bedroom doors. The reason behind this is because spirit can stand there as a guardian and watch all the bedroom doors and make sure that nothing negative is passing through. They've got the grandchildren in that room, the sons and daughters in that room, and someone else in that room, and they can stand there like a guardian looking out for us. And yes, spirit do use doors. They don't walk through walls unless there was a doorway there in the past. So spirit will still walk this earth plane as they did when they were here. So yes, what you find in Josephine is your loved ones in spirit, your sister, your brother, that around you, they're offering that extra care, which I know you give anyway, but from the spirit side of life, and that's all they're doing. And you have to remember that more than likely this grandchild of yours, Eva, wasn't around when they were, so it's their opportunity to play with them now, if that makes sense. But take it as a sign from spirit. You know who they are, who are around Eva. You know who's there entertaining it and stimulating her. I hope she's listening to my voice tonight, or is it only on a Saturday? I tend to make her fall asleep when I'm chatting. Thanks, Neil. That makes sense. Yes, it does, Sarah. With regards to your answer, I wonder if spirits always interacting with equipment whilst we're on location. They make themselves known to me because you're sensitive, but I can never get an EVP on the voice recorder, but I do hear their voices in my own ears. Neil, can I capture their voices on a recorder? Yes, you can. EVP, electronic voice recorder. To the solicitor or to the secretary, it's just a little voice recorder. To us people in the paranormal world, it's electronic voice phenomena. If you're sensitive, and if you have your clairs, from clairsensious to clairaudient to clairvacant like me sometimes, then you will hear spirit. And if you don't hear them, you'll smell them. Using a voice recorder, a classic example we have on our GSI Paranormal channel. I was stood in the Fox Hotel in Gisborough where we were doing our sleepover not so long back, but this was on a previous day and a previous time, and I was talking about the little girl Jennifer, who is very much connected and grounded in this location. She's kind of left there waiting for her mother because unfortunately her life was taken at a young age of around 13, and she was kind of left in limbo, which children and elder people normally do. And as I mentioned the name and start speaking of her, all you hear is a little voice on the voice recorder, and I don't think you need earphones on this, and all she says in a very angelic voice is mother. And that's all she says. She's shouting her mum. She is. We're talking about a mum, and we're talking about Jennifer, and you just hear this very angelic voice go, mother. I'll pop that link in these comments, so anyone who's watching this after the live feed, they'll hear me say this now, and then they'll see that link and they'll know where I'm going with that. But yeah, it's you have to make sure the right ambience is right. If there's a lot of noise going on at the other end of the room, the corridor, the tunnel, it can either influence the static in the air. White noise is an amazing thing. You can hear it with your own ears, which you said you do. We're all sensitive people. We just have to quiet our minds. We do. And with the right instruments, the electronic, the ITC equipment, then there's no reason in the right environment with the right energy built up, spirit will make that noise. And what I would always suggest is do your EVPs in short bursts, because it's like the CCTV. You press record, you spend 6 hours doing a paranormal event, and then at some point in the next week you have to sit there and watch all 4 cameras at 6 hours ago. If you're doing voice recordings and it's big long voice recording, you sat there with your headphones on in front of the PC, and you might have an hour's worth to listen to. Now you can be distracted and just miss that crucial thing. If you do short bursts in minutes of 10, then you can just keep chopping away through it, and you may get that perfect class A EVP without getting too tired. So give it a go, Linda. I'll make sure you hear some EVP this Halloween. Talking about Halloween, Guy, Linda and Jonathan Brooks have cordially invited me to host an event for them in a location which I'm not allowed to say yet, but I nearly did. This location is a very, very, very old historic place. I think it's a public house now. I don't know what it was back then, but it has underground tunnels and cellars, and I'm told by these guys it's a very active location. I'm going to be there with these good people, Brooks Paranormal, on the 31st of Halloween, which I think falls on a Wednesday this year. And it's going to be a very eventful night. If you're not part of Brooks Paranormal, if you're not following them, then please pop along and give them a like and let them know I sent you. And anyone who's interested in something we're doing, which I think is in the Nottingham area of the UK, then if you're local, you can pop along, get to meet my good self and Brooks Paranormal. It'll be a very eventful night. It will. Do you know why I don't get any more? Do you know why I don't get any more? Are we talking about interaction with Spirit, Colette, EVP, because I know you connected with Linda, or something else? If you could just elaborate on what you said there. Do you know why I don't get any more? I'm not quite sure. Unless you message underneath, sorry. I've got lots of really good one EVPs regarding sorry. 2 messages. I only read the last one. You used to get a lot of EVPs in your home, but you don't get so many now, if not any. Build up the energy. If it's a loved one you're looking to connect to, Colette, build up their energy. Get the photo album out, lay it on the table all day. Talk about that person you're looking to connect with. And it's the same with you guys. If you're off to a spiritual church and you're looking for your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother, or that loved one who never set foot on this earth plane to come through, build up that energy, right? Get the photographs out, get the medals out, get the watch, get the necklace out, whatever you have which is significant to that person, put it on the table. And at some point while you're sat with your coffee and your hobnobs, bring him to the top of your mind, whether you speak out loud or talk in your mind, and build up that energy. Let them know what you want. Let them know. Just remember as well, as much as it is hard for a medium to bring that energy through, it's very hard for spirit to create that energy as well and make that contact. And as much as you're pining to make contact with that loved one, just remember how much that loved one is pining to make connection to you as well. So it's important we build that energy so we can make that connection with spirit. The bigger the energy, you know, guys, you're all into your paranormal stuff. The more energy there is, then the more we're more likely to have that interaction. Just remember, the world was created out of energy. I don't want to get too scientific here. The Big Bang Theory, 2 atoms exploded by energy. The thermodynamics of energy, the laws of physics say that energy cannot be created or destroyed. We here are energy on this earth plane, in our carcass, in our body we use it now. But when we pass to spirit and we're finished with the flesh and the bones, there's still our energy there, because it can't be created or destroyed. The thermodynamics of physics, yeah? So where do we go? We cross the veil. We pass over into spirit, just slightly out of sync to our loved ones. And every now and then we match up in sync and we make that connection. So that's what we're looking to do on a mediumship side when we're wanting to connect to our loved ones. Just make sure you quiet your mind and you're slightly out of sync, and you know the signs are there, you're hearing them, and you just have to fine tune that mind, quiet that mind, and just come into sync and then start speaking. The more unlikely chance of making that connection and the perfect sync is when you're laid in your bed. You're just about to go into the hypnotic state of sleep, and all of a sudden you hear your name get called out or a sentence get said, and you actually wake up to answer it, and it's spirit interacting with you, because your head is just decluttered. There's nothing in your head other than your hypnotic sleepy mind, and this is when they connect in sync. Just take that on board, guys. Hello, Nick, hope you're well. Hello, Barry, hope you're well too. Thank you for joining us, guys. Don't forget, like I said earlier in my feed, if you're anything to do with Facebook, it's your business, it's your point of contact with your good friends, please share your links in here, including you, Nick. These guys are all like-minded, like your good self. We all share the same passions, the quest for the paranormal and everything spiritual. So it'd be good for you guys, all of you on here, to share that stuff. Barry Frankish, nice to see you on here. I hope you're well, my good friend. I just want to catch up on these comments, guys. I'd hate to miss anything. I got it even also. It was very strange, but very clear. Look it up to what it's meant. Now, it's funny you should say that, because I was sat here the other night and I connected to spirit, and this spirit was a German gentleman, and he was speaking to me in German. Now, when I asked Google, which is the puck up on the bed, okay, Google, what time is it?
8:35.
There, she's very good. I asked Google what my interpretation of what I was hearing, and I forget what the answer was now, but it was some German energy coming through, trying to make contact with me and pass a message on, but he was speaking in German. And I know when I speak to my partner, she'll probably remember what I was saying to her, but it was bizarre because, one, I don't speak German. Two, I very much don't hear much German, so it was quite unique to hear this energy of a spirit speaking in German to me. I will look that up and probably post it on here, see if I can remember what it was. Helen Steele, I would love to go to that. I've lodged in Nottingham, yeah, with Linda Sherwood, Mapley Park. Yes, Helen. Michael as well. Watch Brooke's Paranormal page. It's a forthcoming event for Halloween. There's some months to go yet. You've got our wedding to go first, so save your energy for that first. But it would be very good to go. I know it's exciting. I haven't been told anything about it, and I've asked my good spirit guide not to share anything yet. Maybe this guy who came through the other day, German guy, might have a link. I do find that when I'm off to a location, whether it be something like the Air Museum or the Drakelow Tunnels or something else, even a private location, I do find spirit comes to me days before to try and tell me a story or make some kind of connection. And spirit knows our thoughts, guys. It's like there's nothing secretly up here which we can't hide from spirit. They know when we're suffering, they know when we need healing, and they know when we're pining for their energy, and that's when they come close to us. So they do shut themselves from other things, shut themselves off from other things. I know I shut myself down at a certain time in the evening so I can relax and be myself, and spirit request that, respect that request from me. What are your thoughts on spirit attachment? I know Hollywood has made spirit attachment a bigger thing than what it is, Sarah. I don't believe that spirit would attach itself to an individual where there's no connection, because why would some knight of a round table from a castle from the 9th century come and attach himself to you just because you've been to his location and did a paranormal event? I do believe spirit will be around us, very much attached, because the part of us that a loved one, and just like I said earlier on, the godmother of this person was still very much attached to her, following about, serving her duties as a godmother. Sorry, guys. So I don't think, as of such, spirit will come along and physically attach itself if there's no link with you and this energy. However, spirit does do this in extreme cases, and we've all heard about these extreme cases from documented things, from exorcisms and movies which were based on true stories. But I don't think that 99.9% of the majority of the people will ever encounter something like this. It's something which normally goes for the younger generation, girls, boys going through adolescence, and making that connection then in troublesome homes, anything from poverty to hardship and violence and negative energies within this home. Then spirit, if it's very much attached to the house at the time, can easily attach to the family within the home. But we're not always talking demonic things. We're talking negative things, things which can just be messing with our minds. It doesn't have to be dragging us up a wall and across the ceiling and back down again. I think Hollywood just creates that illusion, and we always fear this when it comes to the word fear, and fear is exactly what it is, fear. It's the unknown. It's what we don't know beyond the next bend whilst we're doing the investigation. What might be there? Is it some kind of thing with horns and looks like a goat and hooves, or is it just the energy of the guy who once built them tunnels? It's the unknown. Fortunately, being sensitive to spirit and having an amazing spirit guide who I speak clairaudient with, we can have that physical interaction that where he tells me what's around the next corner. Every now and then he'll play a trick on me and make me squeal like a girl, as Helen would know, down at the Old Nick Theatre, but the majority of the time I get to know who's around that dark corner. But yeah, it's and unless you can tell me something different about my answer or something you've experienced, then it's not something I deal a lot with. I do a lot of private investigations where I go to people's houses to cleanse the homes, to move the spirit on, what you may say a rescue medium. Not so long back, and someone's just put a review on the wall with regards to moving poltergeist energy. Poltergeist energy, yes, it was moving things. It was negative. It was causing that environment. It wasn't anything near what you would see in the movies, but this energy was still there. And as you know, poltergeist means noisy spirit, and he was very much that. Right at the end of the session, before I cleansed the house and pushed him over to the light, and believe me, he dug his heels in. His one and only message through the spirit box started with P, and the second word said off. But yeah, with the help of my Texan cowboy and a lasso, we moved him across to the light. And with respect to the people who lived at that location, they've thanked me dearly for what we did that night. It was a very eventful night, but great people as well, great energy. Why is spirit keep comments to me? Why is spirit keeps comments to me? Why is spirit keep speaking to you? Are you saying? If you've got the ability to hear spirit, Sarah, then Sophie, then ask the question. Ask spirit what is it they're wanting to do. So when on an investigation, could you be followed home by spirit, Sarah? Why would spirit follow you home? I don't mean to be negative or cheeky, but you guys will have heard me say this many a time. Why would spirit follow you home from a haunted location to come and watch Jeremy Carr with you? Spirit is haunting that location for a reason. It's there because it's a location which it very much loved. It's a location where the trauma, it's death or something dramatic happened there, or it's attached to that location because of a significant thing within this spirit's life when it was here on this earth plane, and it's back and forth in visitation into the ether of this fabric of the building for a reason. For that spirit then to follow you home to your location, your dwelling where you reside, doesn't sound right. I'm not saying it's not happening, but there must be a reason why it's following you home if that is the case. But yeah, if I'm missing anything, Sarah, then message me privately and we'll talk in depth. If you think there's an attachment there, and I'll see what I can do in advice or anything else. But please do. Just going to slide up my comments on the other screen so I can see what you good people are saying. What time are we on, guys? 20:44. If anyone's joined the live feed and I've missed you, good evening, guys, from the UK, wherever you are in the world, please let me know and I'll give you a big shout out. If you're new to this page, this is something I tend to do midweek each week on the GSI Paranormal channel or my Spirit Medium channel. Both are linked. I'm the medium of the GSI Paranormal, my partner and a good friend, a work colleague, do the investigation sides of things, and I do the spiritual side of things. Just the three of us now. Our two good friends, James. James. Why did I call him James? Shane and oh my God, I can't think of his name. I'm sure Vicky's going to shout from the other room. How rude of me. Oh my God, I can't think of the other guy's name. My head's gone blank. Andrew, thank you, Vicky. She shouted from the other room. Andrew and James, oh God, James. Andrew and Shane spent a year with us, working with us, and done some amazing things for us. And they've gone off to do better things now with their good selves. But yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. Apologies, guys. But I think I was saying something about anything you're part of. Pop your details on here. Thank you for laughing at me, guys. But yeah, my head's gone blank. It has. Vicky's even give me a. Ian Griffiths, thank you for joining us. Hope you're well, my good friend. Kerry Renton, hope you, Benny, and Blossom are well. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. It'd be good to see you. It was a question I get asked by other people that wasn't sure what they say. Right, okay then. Sophie Roberts, a little girl passed away in my home. She's probably still there in visitation, Sophie, because it's probably the only place she ever knew in her short years on this earth plane. I don't understand that. Someone sent me a private message. Hi Neil, do you see anything on here? I'll look at that later. Yeah, it's children who've only set foot on this earth plane for a short period of time can linger. They don't always move over to the light because they're taken out of this ether so quickly by sudden loss or something else. But we have found as a paranormal team and me as a medium, when we go to these private homes, that we do get a lot of spirit children playing in the home. It's the only fond memories they have of this earth plane, and the elderly tend to stick around as well, bless them, looking after the loved ones. Let me just get some of these. Helen, just to read a good book published 1997, Ghost Sightings, is The Life After Death by Colin Wilson. I know of this book, Helen. Some great true stories in there, and includes early investigations of East Drive and Pontefract with interviews and the families who were terrorised within this home, and all what went on in there. Yes, I know of this book. I quickly read a few chapters off Kindle on it. It's a good read. I don't own it because I didn't purchase it, but if you've got it, then please pass it on as and when we see you. It'd be a good read. Let's see who else is here. Neil, I've got to take the hubby to work. Great chat with you, amazing knowledge, so please share it on here. That's all I'm here for, Sarah, just to pass on my life experiences and everything I know. I don't try and say anything else that I don't know. I just like to share my experiences, and if I can answer a question you guys ask, then I'll do my utmost best to answer it. I don't try and be anything else other than myself, and that's what my mother told me to do. Just be yourself, Neil. Love everyone as much as they love you, and I do that and a little bit more as well, guys. But thank you for that compliment. I appreciate that, and drive safe, please. Let's just nip down the wall, see if I can find anything else. If I've missed you guys, I apologise. I know there's a lot of comments on here, but I'm just going to scoot down and see if I can find anything. Sophie Roberts has joined, yes. Let's have a look. I can't see any new comments. Any questions you want to ask, guys? It's 15 minutes into the live feed. I'm not going to hold up yous too much. I'll do another 5 minutes or so. If there's anything you would like to ask, let me nip through a few things which we've got forthcoming whilst you're trying to type. Me and Vicky get married this year. I know a lot of you guys already know. We're getting married the 10th of August, very local in a big church and a big venue thereafter. We've got a lot of friends and family coming from all around the world. A brother from Australia, my other brother from the historic town of Whitby, which isn't too far away. And we're all getting together in the summer month of August for celebrations. Some people on here are going to join us who are good friends of ours. Joe Scott, thank you for joining us. Hope you're well. And Jess Kelly, thank you also for joining us. There's still a few more invites to go out if I haven't sent yours yet, Joe. It's still on the cards, literally. We run out of stamps. But yeah, we want you guys to join us in our celebrations. And if you can't be with us on the day, and I know we're talking 160 something days away, but if you can't be with us on the day, then we're going to certainly make you part of our celebrations through social media. I can't see me halfway through my speech or my service in the altar with my phone out doing a live feed, but it'd be good if I could. Maybe someone in the audience might. Thank you very much, Sophie. But we're going to celebrate our love with you guys as well, and capture as much of our day and present it on here for you guys. It's nothing special than anyone else's wedding, but it's just the love which we're going to transmit and send out to you guys on that day. And it'd be good if you could watch what we are doing on that day on here as well. So we're going to share that as much as we can. Me and Vicky are kind of that's probably the wrong word. We're very much part of your lives. Everyone knows that we're a double act. We have been for a long time now, and we actually met on a paranormal night. That's how we became lovers. I was hosting an event which was local. I was the medium on the night, and Vicky came along as a paranormal investigator, and you could say a customer to the event, which was being hosted by a private corporation. And I suppose the rest is history in the paranormal world. You could say I put the willies up, literally. But yeah, it was an eventful night, and we've been together ever since. As you know, myself, Vicky, and Cassie, our dog, are just one big gelled love art together. We adore each and every one of us together. We're very much gelled together, and I just hope that how I feel about Vicky is my rock. This will be a rock which will never get broken for the rest of our lives. So I'm really excited about this summer, not only meeting all her family, but my family who are coming together, and we're all connecting together. But we're going to share all that with you as well, guys, so look out for that in the August months, and you'll see the build up as well, and probably the after party as well. Forgive us in advance. Like I said, April next month, the 21st, we're off up to the North East Air Museum in Sunderland, the northeast of England, to a very paranormal event, an active location. GSI Paranormal has a pin post on this location. It's a good read, even if you don't come along. It's a very good read, and there's some newspaper articles there which the press covered our story when we interacted with Spirit. Autumn this year, Halloween, myself and Brooks Paranormal are down in Nottinghamshire, if I pronounce it right, or Nottingham, whatever it is, Robin Hood's country, I think it's called. At an event which I'm not familiar with yet, but it's going to be an event well worth watching, if not through the live social media, then actually being there as a guest as well. That will be forthcoming and posted shortly on their page. If you're not part of Brooks Paranormal, then jump on their wall. They welcome everyone. We're all paranormal unity. We like to interact with each other. You made for each other true soulmates. Yes, we are, Helen. Thank you very much, and I'm pleased you can be part of our celebrations as well as and when on the day. My husband wanted to ask a question, Neil. Will his family in spirit ever try to make contact with him? And sometimes since they passed away, it's his brother's birthday yesterday. More than likely, Linda, they do it all the time, but unless we're open to spirit, or unless we look for these signs, we miss them. people can walk around their daily jobs all day long and miss crucial things which are jobs to be done in their workplace. And someone comes along and says, you forgot to do that there. And they go, oh my God, I didn't even see it. Yeah. And it's the same thing with spirit. We'll open the front door and the white feather will blow off the mat. We'll see the pigeon in the garden, which has some significance to a granddad who once walked on this earth plane. We'll have that one daffodil which grows in the garden, even though you never planted a bulb there. And the daffodil your mum once loved, who always picked daffodils at Easter. Like my daughter, she used to pinch them at Easter. There's always a sign there from the nickel, the cent, the penny on the floor, them little things. Even turning on the radio in the car, the car stereo, a song will come through, and you just don't absorb it how you're supposed to. You'll sing along to it because it's a song you've known from years, but you won't catch the meaning because of the significance of an anniversary, or it was a special song for a special person who was very much part of your lives. So I want to say, well, I'm going to say, Linda, that all the signs are there. It's just whether he's sensitive enough to pick up on him. And I know he's a man, and I know he's not afraid to talk with spirit as of such. But tell him, if he's not listening already, when he gets his next 10 minutes alone and he wants to sit down and put the newspaper on his knee and sit there with his mug of tea, which he very much loves. I can see him with a big pint mug as well, a big fat cup. And he puts it on the right hand side of the armchair, and you're always complaining. Tell him just to quieten his mind and spend 10 minutes talking to his brother and his loved ones in spirit, and ask for a more significant sign from him. Ask for evidence. That's all you have to do. And even if it's the weakest link they do to get that evidence across, they'll do it. They will. But it's just whether he picks up on that, and that's the majority of people's troubles with trying to. People come to me and say, I never get anything, I never hear anything, I never see anything, and on a paranormal event we never sense anything. Are you opening yourself up to it? That's all you have to do. You have to open yourself up to it to connect to it. And I'm not saying he's not trying, or you guys are not trying, but the more you practice this, the easier it gets. It's like riding a bike. I wake up on the morning, I switch on the spirit, and I lie down in bed and I switch off the spirit. It's like turning the TV on, as simple as that. But a lot of people will try too hard in the early days, and it'll be more like turning the TV on and trying to find the station rather than it going directly to ITV or BBC One. So it does take that fine tuning from you connecting to the audio side of things and hearing it that way to actually tapping into their energy, which we were talked about earlier on, syncing up. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I'll read through the messages, and if I've missed anything, I apologise in advance, but I'll give you a like and see if I can answer them questions. I'll bid you good evening, guys. I really appreciate you joining me tonight. I know it hasn't been a great audience, but it's not about how many people we can get on here. It's just about sharing the love. And the thing is, there may have only been 10 people on here tonight, but once I click save, this video will hit 500 people over the next couple of days, if not weeks. So it'll always hit the right person, and it'll always get to the right person as well. And this is why I ask to share, guys, because the more we share, the bigger the audience it hits. And there may be one person out there who's part of your friends who just hasn't come forward to ask that burning question about the loved one. And you might be that person who triggers that question for him. They'll either come to myself or your good self and ask that question, and you can point them in the right direction, and I'll do my best to speak to them. So have a good evening, guys. Wherever you are in the world, have a good day. Stay safe. If you've got severe adverse weather conditions like we've had here in the UK, then drive safe as well. Send all that love out, and the next loved one you see, give them that cuddle and a big kiss and tell them how much you love you, because you never know when that opportunity is taken away from you. So have a good night, guys. Thank you for joining me, and be safe. Love and light, guys. Take care.